Hello everybody and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. We're your boys. We always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And today, folks, we're going to be talking about an old friend, now a World Series champion, Teoscar Hernandez. He's on the open market right now, and there's been some recent reports that the Toronto Blue Jays could be eyeing a reunion with him. We're going to break that down, what that could mean for the team, and if it could actually happen. Before we do, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button, let us know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Now, we know that Juan Soto has been getting all of the media coverage, rightfully so, because this is somebody that you can build your team off of for a decade or more, assuming he doesn't have a bunch of opt-outs. However, there's still a bunch of other good outfielders on the market, Teo being one of them, Anthony Santander, former Baltimore Oriole, being another one. There's other guys out there, and because of Juan Soto, it feels like we're kind of forgetting about those other guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole market of those two players, Hernandez and Santander, they all depend on Juan Soto. You have every team in on Juan Soto, big market teams like the Blue Jays, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Mets. They're all in on Soto, but once he signs, and apparently he's supposed to sign in the winter meetings next week, once that happens, that market is going to begin to fall for those guys like Hernandez and Santander. Now, you have Ken Rosenthal come out, and he started to talk about that idea of, well, what does the market look like? And he mentioned that exactly. And then he brought up some interesting teams, like the Dodgers, who are interested in a reunion with Teoscar Hernandez. We knew that. I mean, why wouldn't you? You won a World Series with that guy. But then he also brings up the Toronto Blue Jays being a contender for Teoscar Hernandez, and that the Blue Jays would be a logical destination for a reunion for Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, why not? You won two Silver Sluggers with that team. You are familiar with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the organization. This makes a lot of sense for the Blue Jays to go and get him, especially if they're hot on Juan Soto.
Yeah, of course.
Ken Rosenthal also brings up that if Soto doesn't land in LA, that Hernandez could likely re-sign with the Dodgers on a 3-year, $60 million deal, which is widely different than what we thought he was going to be. We thought Hernandez was going to get something like $100 million plus, but 3 years, 60? I mean, that's kind of the same market that we're looking at Santander, and for me personally, I think I'm liking that deal for Hernandez.
No, I love that deal as well. I also love what he went on to say, saying that the most logical destination for Teoscar Hernandez, assuming that LA does not bring him back, is going to be the Toronto Blue Jays. And if the deal is looking like a $20 million a year type thing, I mean, sign me up, right? You're talking about somebody who just won a World Series, who had an 840 OPS last year. I mean, across the board, Teo was great, and we know what he can do for this Toronto Blue Jays lineup. The protection that he provides for Vladdy, the camaraderie that he brings to the clubhouse, that is a whole other thing too, right? Like, we know that we like this guy. Bringing Teoscar Hernandez back, it's not going to solve all of our problems, but, it's in terms of getting to a better, offensive production standpoint, of course that is going to help.
Yeah, and I like what you said about camaraderie. I mean, dude, we know the relationship with Teoscar Hernandez and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. We knew how strong that was when he was with Toronto. And, what I'm thinking about, too, another whole topic is the extension of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., which I know you're going to have a video room coming out about tomorrow, so check it out, guys. But that, you have to start pitching him a lot more than just, hey, we're going to give you this money. What about a team? Right? Because right now you look at the identity of the Toronto Blue Jays, and who does he have left that he really connects to? Like, maybe Bo Bichette, but Bo Bichette might not be getting an extension with the Blue Jays. Who else do you have on that team right now? Alejandro Kirk, maybe? Right? There's not a lot of guys in there that he can really connect to. Bringing back Teoscar Hernandez to bat right behind him is going to help a long ways.
Yeah, of course. It's starting to become more of how do we convince Vladimir Guerrero Jr. that we are the right team, being the Toronto Blue Jays, whereas, is he the right guy for us? You know what I mean? And that's what Ben Nicholson-Smith came out and said on a recent podcast. So bringing Teo back, it helps with the offense. It, helps with that whole aspect of everything. The one thing that, I guess I'm hesitant about, or why I think they won't do it, is because it almost subtly is Ross Atkins saying that I was wrong by trading him away. You know what I mean? It's like you almost have to go back and be like, I'm going to get this guy again. And hopefully he can put that to one side and understand that it's just a business thing and has nothing to do with that. Nobody's going to look at you and be like, oh, like you're an idiot for all this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think I look at it a little bit differently because when you traded Teoscar Hernandez, he had 1 year on his deal, and you were trading 1 year of control of Teoscar Hernandez for Eric Swanson with 3 years control and Adam Macko, a prospect. So, like, it's still, to this day, that 1 year that Teoscar had in Seattle, I would trade that for 3 years of control with Eric Swanson and Adam Macko, prospect. What I don't agree with is the fact that you didn't bring him back last year. And he had literally his best year ever with a 4.3 WAR, hitting 33 home runs. That's the thing I don't agree with. But now's your chance that now that he's proven it, and yes, he is 32, going to be turning 33 next year. Now it's your chance to go get him and bring him back to Toronto, which you should have done in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that he is a very good backup plan to Soto if they miss out on Juan Soto. Now, I will say that bringing Teo in, I don't think that that's enough offensively speaking. I think I'd still like to see somebody else. I think that if they were to bring a Teoscar Hernandez in, can you also get a Gleyber Torres or Ha-Seong Kim or somebody, or maybe one of those elite pitchers? Like, I still think that we need to do more.
I do agree. Like, that would be a nice beginning, and hell, maybe that's enough with a great pitching staff. We fix our bullpen that we can get over the edge, but I think we're going to need to go over the edge and go above and beyond with the offensive standpoint. Now, there is another guy in this picture too. It's Anthony Santander, because we have to consider the Blue Jays are probably most likely going to fall back at him, because if you think about the next tier market of outfielders, you've got Anthony Santander and Teoscar Hernandez. Hernandez should most likely go back to the Dodgers, because if the Dodgers miss out on Soto, which they look like they probably will, it's between the Red Sox and the Mets right now, then the most logical next move for them is to go to Teoscar Hernandez. And if he is going to go back with them, well, then that leaves the Blue Jays as probably the most aggressive team out there on the field, on the market, to go and get an Anthony Santander. We know that he has been badly coveted by the Toronto Blue Jays. So if we don't get Hernandez, I mean, this isn't a bad option to fall back on, right?
Whoa, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 years of older to participate. Please play responsibly. Now, everyone, back to the content. No, I don't hate Santander whatsoever. I would hope that his contract would be pretty similar to the one that Rosenthal just suggested about Teo, right? Like a $20 million a deal type of contract. Right. I think that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, when you're talking about somebody that could hit 44 home runs, he did it last year, right? Why not? Why not with us? So Santander has definitely been somebody that I've been very interested in. I think it's a similar type of situation for me, where it's like, okay, this is a great start. This is somebody that's going to bat behind Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You're going to feel really, really good about it. He is, 30 years old right now?
30 years old, 2 years younger.
2 years younger than Teo, which is also, like, that's got to be a positive. You know, how many more productive years does he have? Probably a couple more in there.
Right.
So I like all of that. I think, like I said before, it'd be a great beginning, a great start.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. And, I mean, look, we got to get anything we can right now. You know, going back to the whole philosophy of this Blue Jays offseason is you got to cast a wide net and get anything you can. And we're doing that with Juan Soto, but I really hope that the Blue Jays this time around aren't just casting their net on Juan Soto, and then after that, we don't know. I hope as this is going on, as the Juan Soto sweepstakes are going on, they're continuously checking in on people like Anthony Santander and Teoscar Hernandez, which they have been for Anthony Santander, but why not cover all your bases and go after Teoscar Hernandez?
Well, it almost, I guess they know better than we do, but if you're getting the vibe that Juan Soto's not going to be a Toronto Blue Jay, and do your due diligence, really give him the highest offer and everything like that. But if you're getting the vibe that he's not going to be with the Toronto Blue Jays, let's start talking to these guys right now.
Right.
You know, let's call up Teoscar Hernandez and let's be calling up Anthony Santander. Maybe they've already done that, you know, and they've literally told them it's like, we got to wait and see on this, which I guess is fair. But I want us to have Plan B almost already in motion before Plan A has, ended. I want us to be there, because I would not be upset whatsoever if you did bring back a Teoscar Hernandez and then you did bring in a Gleyber Torres and maybe a starting pitcher and a couple bullpen guys too. I would look at that as a great offseason, even though you did miss out on Juan Soto.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think about last offseason when, and this is at the exact same time, but like within a week of each other, Juan Soto gets traded to the Yankees when the Blue Jays were looking at Juan Soto too. But they were also looking more into Ohtani where the Yankees weren't. They were just looking at Juan Soto, right? They weren't going hard on Ohtani like the Blue Jays were. So my fear is that another team is going to come in and be like, hey, Hernandez, you want 120? Let's give you something absolutely ridiculous right now before Juan Soto even signs. Like, it could be a possibility.
Yeah, that is true, right? Like, because there's other teams out there. Let me just throw out a name right here. The St. Louis Cardinals. Now, I don't know if they'd ever be in this situation, but they're not a squad that's in on Juan Soto, but they might be in on Santander.
Right.
So it's like, for them, it's like, okay, well, we don't care what happens with Juan Soto at all. We don't think it affects your market that much. We're willing to give you 100 today, right now.
Or hell, the Baltimore Orioles.
Or the Baltimore
literally,
Orioles,
who are losing Santander. Maybe they get Santander or Hernandez. Who cares, right? They could go out and they could do that. And hell, the Yankees right now are apparently looking like they might be out of the race sooner rather than later. Well, why don't they go get their replacement corner outfielder?
Which is exactly why, if you are the Toronto Blue Jays, I mean, calling these guys sooner rather than later might be the play.
It might be, guys. So let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, everybody, about Santander, Hernandez. Do you want to see a reunion with Teoscar Hernandez? Personally, I'd say yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be great, guys. Please hit the like, smash the subscribe button. $3 a month to become a Patreon member and a YouTube member. Appreciate all of our current Patreon members and YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!